What's up, you guys? Want to introduce the Wide Speed. This is a new board for our surf line, and this board is really fun to design. You know, there's a lot of boards that are big and wide and high volume, and you know, the number one complaint is how do you turn these things? So it was really fun to kind of break down the design, and with that inspiration in mind, create the Wide Speed. You know, we call it the Wide Speed very simply because I wanted to make a board that was stable, wide, and fast, lots of speed. So this is what we came up with. Used a lot of different concepts, you know, from our surf background. This board features a triplane hull bottom that was developed with my dad. He used to do a model called the Speed Hull. So we used some of that for inspiration on this board. And yeah, we're gonna break it down. Was to make a high volume, wide, stable board, but make it really maneuverable. So we've done a lot of design to kind of make these boards feel a lot smaller than they are. And people are gonna be really impressed at how quickly it reacts from rail to rail and how nimble these boards are for how big they are. You know, you can see the outline is pretty generous. It's got a wider nose, wider tail. And you know, I like to refer to these as the shoulders and the hips. And that's a big design element to making SUP surfboards stable, are those key points. We finished it off with a nice clean square tail. It's just the most versatile tail shape out there. So it's stable, it's fast, it pivots, etc. This board has a little bit of a wide point forward, so that just encourages a little bit of that forward paddling. So you know, you can really dig into it and be stable and trust your stroke to catch waves easily. So it helps you catch waves much easier with a little bit forward outline. Still comes to a point, and you can see from the side angle, it's got a nice kick in the nose right at the end there. And that's to help with the late drops. It enables to keep the rocker fairly flat, but have that nice kick, you know, for soft landings and just sliding into those curvy waves. You might be able to see a good look at the tail kick as well. So it's a moderate rocker with a nice flip in the nose and an accelerated flip in the tail where the fins are. And that's a real key element when I start showing you the bottom. So as always, we have our really nice premium traction pad. We always take cutouts out of it just to get as much weight out of the pad as we can. It's real thin, it's as thin as I can make it, and still have a lot of durability and long-lasting wear. Kind of cool, we cut it on the access to match up with the graphics, so it looks real tight. It's heat pressed, and so it doesn't absorb up water. We got a really long arch bar, and of course always a big wedgy tail kick just for foot reference and really pivoting off that wide tail. Our handle is a full ledge handle. We call it a Sasquatch paw. And you can fit your whole hand in there, so it's real comfortable to grab. And these boards being all carbon fiber, even the biggest ones we make are the lightest on the market, and the strength to weight on these is legendary. Just a really light and durable board. The construction is we use a lightweight EPS core. The whole board is wrapped with a PVC shell, and then it's in our suspension carbon technology. And the suspension references the type of carbon we're using. We're using different patterns and layups to promote flex. I always want my boards to feel as close as they can to a custom ride, and that's the difference with our carbon boards. Is we lay up the carbon in such a manner to promote stiffness where you want it, flex where you want it, and twisting, so to speak. And that's where you get that real custom ride. All right, we'll spin it around, give a little look. Here's a side profile. I don't know if you guys could start seeing, but it's got that nice tucked edge, and it leads into that chined rail. And the chine rail is an angled rail that comes from the bottom rather than on the deck, and just adds that secondary planing surface. but we'll flip it around. So it's hard to see from these views, but there's a nice deep single concave that runs the length of the board. And right in the sweet spot, which we consider the sweet spot in between the stance, it starts transitioning to a deep double concave. So the theory is 2 concaves and the chine rail all working together with the fin placement. What this is doing is when the board's on the edge, the chine rail allows the thicker rail, it relieves pressure, so it allows you to sink the rail quickly and get off and going, right? And gives you that kind of edgy control, and it leads the water into the middle of the board where it meets the concaves, which creates all that lift and speed. So the double concave works around this edge and the concave and matches up with the fins, and that's where the fin bites. We got a 5-fin setup. I really like the wider tails with quads. You just seem to get a lot of traction with two fins out on the rail. We have tried this with a twin fin setup and more of a trailer. That works insane. Kind of turning into my favorite setup lately. And of course a traditional thruster, which is always, you know, tried and true and very familiar feeling to people. But I would encourage you to try it as a quad first. Triplane haul just basically works from rail to rail with that edge leading the board into the turn, and then it just flows into that concave where that creates all that lift and speed. Rail to rail, it's a really sensitive and reactionary board. Like, you'll kind of be blown away how wide these are and how nimble they are. I know myself, even after riding it multiple times, like, it kind of catches me off guard. So you know, you're used to it kind of having that delay, but the feeling you get on this board is really quick and agile, and it, like I said, it kind of cuts you off, takes you by surprise for how big the board is. We got all the sizes. The smallest one we make is only 100 liters. I've been riding the small one, and it's been nice to get on bigger boards again and be stable but still have that spark in my surfing. And we make this beyond 10 feet tall, so this is the board for beginners who want a really nice premium board, intermediate to advanced guys who just want to, you know, be comfortable and stable and still have that spark in your surfing. I think it's really going to be a quiver killer for a lot of people. High volume, nice and wide, and super fast. It's kind of the name of the game. The wide speed, check it out, and yeah, hit us up if you have any questions.